Remember last month we asked you to select 7-inch panel squares along with dark and light coordinating fabrics. And you should have cut the fabrics into 1¼ strips and have them ready for this month's preview. You're going to take the 1¼ strips and sew them into strip sets with the lightest fabric on top and the darkest fabric at the bottom. Once you've completed this, you're going to attach the strip sets to the top and the bottom of the panel block, remembering that the lightest fabric will be the fabric that attaches to the block. Remember to press away from the block. Once you've completed this, you're going to attach the light strip sets to the sides of the blocks. In order to keep waist down, you only really have to attach the sides 1/2 inch beyond the block. Okay, after you've attached that, we're going to work on the dark strips. Remember that the first and the 6th strip are the darkest fabrics. The 2nd and the 5th fabric are the mid-darks, and the 2 in the center are the lightest of the darks. Remember to press down from lightest to the darkest, as that will help you later in block construction. Now, Jackie is going to explain how to attach your dark strips.
Hi, my name is Jackie Lawson. I'm a member of the Cocheco Quilt Guild. I am here at Diane Stump's home filming the second part of the block construction for the 2017 Mystery Quilt. As you have seen from the beginning of this video, Diane has shown you how to construct your block. So you have found your panel, shopped your stash, you've created your strips, and you have sewn them to the 4 corners of your block. So the second thing that you're going to have to do once this is complete is to determine how to get the corners on your block, because as you can see, these do not go all the way out to the corners. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our dark strips and attach them to the corner of your block. And you'll see that the 1st and the 6th strip are the same fabric, and it will be up to you to decide how you want to place the other strips. So if you have, say, the red or the bubbles on the inside and the outside, you want to make sure that as you create your other corners, you also are consistent so that the red is always towards the outside, the bubbles are always closer to the inside. If you're doing a scrap quilt and you are picking from your stash and you're not concerned with the order of the colors, then that doesn't apply to you. If you mess up and you do it wrong, if you are Diane Stump, you will tear it out and fix it and make it perfect. If you're Jackie Lawson, you'll say, forget it and move on. Either way, it's fine. It's up to you. So the question is, how do we get the strip set onto the corner of the block? So you're going to keep your strip set for the dark fabrics all in one piece so that you can get the most out of this with the fabric strip set as you attach the corners. Most people have a ruler in their stash that has a 90-degree for the whole block or a 45-degree angle. I have to admit that I never had geometry and I'm not really very good at angles. But I do have a ruler in my stash called a square and a square. A lot of people have a triangle ruler, or they have 45 and 90-degree lines on their rulers that they already have. So you don't have to go out and buy a ruler. You can borrow one. I'm happy to loan mine. Other people in the guild have them. And also, other people have 90-degree angles, and there are certainly videos online. I'm going to show you with the one that I have because that's the one that I'm used to. So this is a square and a square ruler. It has a 90-degree, 60-degree, 120-degree, and as you can see, the 120-degree is not going to line up with my block of my panel for my 7 inches. But when I go to my 90-degree angle, these lines here will match up with the lines on my block. The one thing I have to remember, and the biggest mistake that most people will make when cutting a block like this, is they forget the seam allowance. Just like when you are figuring a strip and how big to make it, you have to figure in the seam allowance. And if you look at the square and a square ruler and the other rulers, a lot of them will have a 1/4 inch because they know you need that seam allowance. So when I line my block up here and I look at it, I should be able to see that with the lines matching up to my square, I have a 1/4 inch overhanging the tip of my square. If I cut the edge of my square off, when my block is complete, this point will be missing, and you don't want that. So you're going to line it up with the 90-degree angle in the corner, and then you are going to take your rotary cutter and cut this corner off. That will give you your seam allowance. Once you have your seam allowance, you determine which side of your colors is toward the outside. In our case, it would be red. So we're taking our strip set, we're going to line it up on the seam allowance that we've created, because remember, we have cut this off with a 1/4 inch seam. We've cut it off. We're going to take this piece and line it up so that it covers it and extends both sides of our thumb. We're going to stitch this line, and then we're going to flip, finger press and press. Once we determine that we have this sewn on, we'll know that it has to come this way because we're making a square, and we will make sure that we're going to trim our block up later. So we're just, for the time being, going to just cut it off past our last block by about 1/4 to 1/2 inch so that we can keep working. Once we do that, we have this beautiful piece. And I'm going to use a shorter one just for the, here we go. It's lined up here. This is cut off, like so. Then we're going to take our other block and making sure that we still have the right color to the outside. We're going to take our ruler, slice off our corner, and then we're going to add this on, going all the way up to the top. When you do that, you will be able to square up your block to the dimensions that we have given you in the instructions. So on this block here, as you can see, we have cut the corner on 2 sides, and we have laid our strip set down there, sewn them on, and then after we have completed these 2 sides, we have squared up our block to the corner. It is going to be a 12 1/4 inch block, but at this point we still have the unfinished block, so we're adding 1/2 inch for the unfinished part. The finished block will be 12 1/4 inches. Unfinished your block should be 12 3/4. When you have completed this towards both sides, you should have a small triangle in the center of each middle of each block that looks like that. You'll have one on each side, 4 of them, and then your block will be complete. We will be providing instructions in the following month's newsletter on the final construction for your quilt, but this will give you the blocks that you need. Now, depending on how many squares you picked for your panel, either 9 or 12, you'll have 9 completed blocks or you'll have 12 completed blocks. If you have any questions, my email, Diane's email, and other members of the committee will be in the newsletter for January, February, and March while we are doing block construction. Congratulations, you've got this far, and we hope you're loving your block.